Hope is that first part. Hope is that seed that can spark belief, and belief turns into ideas. Ideas are the thing that's in here, that what you're telling yourself, what you think about yourself and the world around you. And that's the last step that's only in here. Hope, belief, and ideas are all in here. The action is the first thing. Other people can maybe know your ideas, especially if they get close to you or they spend time with you, they get more familiar. They can have an understanding of your ideas, but like your action is what other people really see and feel.
Welcome back to the We Are All Awesome show, powered by WiddyUP, where we celebrate everyday heroes who are making an extraordinary impact on students, parents, and communities. Today's guest is the definition of unstoppable energy and purpose in motion. From leading as a defensive coordinator, strength coach, and football coach to guiding transformative her workshops with its all-connected coaching and consulting, Jordan Holbert has dedicated his life to teaching the body, training the mind, and building unshakable confidence in youth. He lives by the motto, Cougar Nation on a mission, and he believes in the power of sports to teach discipline, accountability, and the value of showing up on time and putting in the work. Jordan has impacted hundreds of kids, thousands of youth, teaching them that success is about how you compete in everything you do, both on and off the field. It's about living a win now mentality, letting your light shine and being authentically you while pushing to be your best every day. Jordan doesn't just talk about transformation, he lives it. Every practice, every rep, every conversation with the youth he mentors. Get ready to be inspired to take action and to remind yourself that awesome is a mindset and it's available to all of us. Jordan Holbert, welcome to the We Are All Awesome show. Let's go.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at, wherever you're located. First of all, I wanted to introduce Jordan Holbert to our show, the We Are All Awesome show, powered by WiddyUP. Jordan, how you doing today?
I'm great, Randy. Thank you to you and to Carter. One, for creating WiddyUP, but two, for creating this platform, this podcast. I'm super excited to be on the show, and just thanks again.
Yeah. No, thanks for jumping on this show. Before we jump into the details, Jordan, you mentioned WiddyUP. Remind me, are you starting the WiddyUP? Just kind of give us background about the WiddyUP fundraiser, kind of why you liked it, what was some of the things that interested you, and why you chose to go with the WiddyUP fundraiser.
Absolutely. So we are new to WiddyUP, and when I say we, I'm always speaking for Cougar Nation, the Vox Cougars here in North Philadelphia, where I'm the head football coach. Also work with the flag football team, and I'm an assistant on the track team. WiddyUP is something we're super excited about, the potential that can come from it, because WiddyUP's it's a fundraiser, but it's different, right? It's a fundraiser for 2025 and beyond. It's a place where you can promote not just your team, but you can promote actual individuals and their individual talents, their individual personalities, their style, and all from the click of a few buttons. And then you can share that out 40 plus people at a time. And it's a nice way to kick off fundraising season for us, which starts right at the start of our training camp. So yeah, I'm super excited about it. I think WiddyUP's going to be a great tool for us to share our message, to share our platform, to share our mission. Cougar Nation this year, 2025, on a mission is our tagline. So that's where we're at.
Nice. I like that
hashtag in all of our WiddyUP content. You'll see it on T-shirts. You'll see it on our team calendar, team posters. You'll see it all across the board.
Say that tagline again, Jordan.
On a mission.
On a mission. Okay.
Yeah, Cougar Nation on a mission. I love that, Jordan. Hey, listen, tell us about you. Give us your journey. Give us a little background on who you are.
I am a sports fanatic, so much so that sports have...
Wait. Before we jump into that, are you an Eagles fan or I'm a Cowboys fan? So
listen, we actually had two Eagles legends at our football practice this morning. We had Hollis Thomas and Fred Barnett come out.
Wow.
Yeah, Fred's trying to get his kid introduced to the game. He's a rugby player, so they came out to practice. I'm an Eagles fan through and through. Those guys are guys that I watched when I was a kid. So for the kids that I coached, to be able to meet them and hear their story and their perspective and their advice was a great way to start the game. Me and my dad drove to the Eagles' first Super Bowl win from Philadelphia, and that game was in Minnesota. So that's a smooth 18 hours. So
Okay.
yeah, we're
Got it.
fans.
Got it.
We're fans over here. But I started playing sports when I was 4. Started off playing football. My pops was my coach, and it was like the craziest experience to be able to have your dad be your coach. And like I got to see my dad as my pops at home. I got to see him as a male leader in the family. I got to see him as a coach of my football team, my wrestling team. He sure as heck could not coach basketball. That was mom. I got to see
And
him.
you coach basketball as well? Coach
No,
Jordan, do
I'm
you
not.
coach
I'm not a ball player. Once I got to
No,
wrestling,
okay.
7th grade, I hung up the basketball shoes. I thought I was Iverson. I'm not. Although I did get to interview him twice. It was cool. But, as I learned early on the value of sports without even realizing I was learning that value, the ability to be on time, to hold yourself accountable to getting better, to putting the time in for getting better. Those are things that you learn for t-ball, soccer, football, wrestling, track, whatever it is, but it applies to everything. So when I say I'm a fanatic for sports, I took that and I played sports all through high school. I played rugby at Temple. And then once it was my playing days were over, I found other ways to continue to be around sports. So I got to work for the Sixers for 6 seasons.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Awesome opportunity. And I credit not only my love of sports, but the valuable lessons that sports gave me for being able to break into that industry and then be successful, because everything you have to compete. So I teach my kids the win now mentality. It's
I
about
love it. I love it.
Yeah. Adaptable and action oriented so that you can compete in whatever the venue is. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're someone who has a 9-to-5 W-2 job that you want to go and compete at, if you are a creator, an artist, like all of these things you compete. So being able to have that muscle that you build up, because even when you compete, you're not always going to win. Like you're gonna probably lose more than you win, especially when you're starting. But being able to take those losses as lessons so that you can get to the point where you really get to stack the momentum of winning consistently, you have to be able to lose consistently first and know how to lose in an effective way. So I think sports can teach you so much. And again, that's another reason that I love what you guys are doing with the platform you're building, both as the podcast and the fundraising. You're giving people that space and that place to continue the valuable lessons that you learn from team sports, individual sports, really whatever you want to fundraise for. You're having an opportunity to be part of something that's bigger than yourself.
Yeah, no, that's important. And that reminds me of a saying that Pete Carroll, football coach for USC football, he used to say, compete in everything you do. Everything from, being the best student, being the best brother, sister. I compete to be the best dad.
Pete Carroll's book it's literally right there on my bookshelf.
Is it? Okay. Let me ask you, Jordan, in terms of the players, I mean, the stuff that you're sharing is just amazing in terms of, the value of sports, being on time, the discipline, all of that. Over the, call it, last 5 years, how many players have you kind of interacted with? What's the impact? I'm just want to try to see, how many kids you've impacted.
That's a fun thing to actually go back and think about. So when we first started, we played 2 or 3 games with 16 kids. We're playing 11-man football, and we got a roster of 16 kids. And, there's some 9th graders. You're not putting them on the field, right? So, and it was fun too, because those 9th graders that we couldn't even put on the field, you get to have them hopefully 9th, 10th, 11th, and then 12th grade, and then continuing that relationship. Now that they're in college,
grow with the program.
Grow with the program. The kids grow and they get older and they go on to new things, and you get to see a new batch come through. So over the course of the last 5 years, it started off, it was just football. So we'll say 20 the first year, we'll say 25 year 2, year 3 was probably the first time we broke 35.
Okay.
So you're at about 60 kids at this point. But then year 3 into year 4 is when things really got picking up with flag football, with track and field, debate with organization called Mighty Writers, podcasting with the same group. So the ambitious goal that I set for myself, now that I started my own business in coaching, is 1,000 kids coached, 1,000 youth coached this year. And some of those will be one-day camps and clinics. town
Okay.
hall news. Some of those will be with podcasting, some will be with debate, some will be flag football, some will be football, some will be track and field. But the goal is 1,000, and we're officially into Q3, so we're past halfway on that goal. And with that, there's one program I haven't added in yet, but we are above 550 for
Oh wow. Oh
the
wow.
youth coach this year.
Amazing.
So again, that's over different some of those programs are one day, some of those are combines and clinics
Sure.
but
Nonetheless, you're impacting them. No, got it. Can
Sure.
you tell us a little bit more about your business? You talked about that business. Well, what is that? What does that entail?
So my company that I started is called It's All Connected Coaching and Consulting. Our symbol is a lightning bolt, and I'm a big pedagogy guy. I love that word. One of my mentors asked me one day at a conference, "Coach, what's your pedagogy?" And I said, "Coach, what the heck's a pedagogy?" Okay. So we got into that conversation. I was like, all right, when we come back to this conference next year, I'm gonna have that for you. I'm gonna have that written down for you, Coach Kyle. He used to be the AD and basketball coach at where was he at? Delaware State, and before that, Cheney.
Okay.
He has been a mentor for me. Great author, great coach, great man. And when he asked me that question, I was like, I have to figure this out. So my pedagogy starts with the win now mentality, and it's all about teaching your body and training your mind. So when you can teach your body to become habitual with positive habits, your body starts to crave those habits. We're all creatures of habit. Everyone's disciplined. It's just a matter of your discipline is something positive that's helping you, or your discipline is something that's negative and not helping you. So everyone's teaching their body something and training your mind to do something. But we want to teach your body and train your mind on that win now mentality. So when I say that, well, the reason that the I is a lightning bolt in our logo and all of our branding is that when you teach your body, train your mind, it's like catching lightning in a bottle. It's doing something that you otherwise would not have been able to do because you weren't the version of yourself that could overcome the obstacles that were in front of you. But every day when you teach your body, train your mind, you stick to that win now mentality, you get 1% better. You get a little bit better, a little bit better.
Oh,
you get a little bit better for a year. You're like, you look in the mirror and you're like, man, that was me last year. What am I going to look like in 2 years? Right. And then by the time you've done that for 5 years, you messed around and you were a dude who was just walking his dog in a park. And now you're the head coach of a football program with expectations. Right. So 5 years of consistency, of discipline, of doing what you're supposed to be doing, that's going to move you in the winning direction. Not every day is easy. I'm telling you, not every day is easy. Some days I come home with blood. Some days most days I come home sweaty. Some days you come home, you got tears, you got wins, you got losses, and those wins and losses go beyond the field. Like there are some big wins, getting kids into colleges, getting kids looks from schools, but there's also losses. Like I've lost athletes. That's a real life situation that here in North Philly, losing an athlete means that person's no longer here. Like you've lost an athlete off your team, but you've lost a person out of your circle. And, that's happened more times than I care to count, because any times is, to me, something you want to avoid. But that's the reality of the situation. And that's part of what drives me to do what I do so hard. And that was the real reason that I started the company, right? Was to be able to create pathways to define and achieve your own success in a place where you're expected to do more with less, with more stacked against you. Like we do more with less, with more stacked against us every single day.
You're right.
We have the best facilities, but we make them work. We make it work. We don't have, like, we're carpooling. We don't have a bus to take us up to our 717 an hour away. So we're carpooling. We find a way out of no way, and we create, define, and achieve our own success. And it's harder, but it's definitely worthwhile and worth the extra effort.
Jordan, is the It's All Connected coaching and consulting working with families also? Can you speak a little bit more? How does exactly that work related to your, if you will, customer?
Yeah. So the end user, right? If you want to talk in more of like a tech or product/service type of business, which this is all of those, it is the end user is the athlete, but the decision maker often is the parent. So
we know that.
To each person, right? Because like the kid can want coaching, but can the family afford it? right? Can the family dedicate the time to get them to the coaching that they need? Do they have the internet services? If we even were going to do virtual coaching with the parents, you want to involve them, because you get 2 hours probably max per day with your athletes. As a football coach or whatever sport you coach, you probably get 90 to 120 minutes with your athletes. The rest of the time they're with their friends, they're with their families, they're not with you. But that 15-minute car ride to and from practice, I've seen that become toxic, right? If the parent and the coach are not on the same playing field, their communication's not aligned, that can get really messy, right? That 15 minutes can become catastrophic. You can have one person that the kid, the athlete loves and adores, mom or dad, right? And someone else they love and adore in their coach. Yeah. But if they're not on the same page, that can be really conflicting for a young adolescent mind to try to maneuver. So I try to give as much information and as far in advance to my parents, because I know their kid's sport isn't the only thing they have to worry about, right? They're worried about school. They're worried about their job. They're worried about the other kids in the family. They're worried about whatever, because no matter who you engage with, what you engage with them in is not their whole life. Like, you guys are going to go and deal with whatever else is on your life when we hop off this podcast. Whoever is listening to this podcast is going to or from something, or eventually they're going to have to go do something different. So allowing that space, but also providing the space where we do share, where you have space to be yourself, but also to bring what you need to bring to me, right? I need to have communication and a relationship with each parent. The same way that you have to coach each kid, you need to have at least a line of communication with each parent, which is hard. That's hard to do. It's really, really difficult, but it's essential to sustain success.
Yeah.
Have that communication. So what I always, I try to always give like a physical literacy handout to my, like, this is what you should be eating. This is how much water you should have. This is how often you should exercise. After you exercise, this is what you should do. Before you exercise, and like, I'm giving it for the kids, but I'm hoping the parents use it. I'm hoping the parents use it for themselves, right? Because I'm a workout fiend because my parents are workout fiends. I could do push-ups at 2 because my dad had me do push-ups with him when I was 2. So like, it creates those habits, and those habits last a lifetime, and healthy habits are what keeps that life sustainable. So always trying to make sure we're touching the decision maker, the parents, the guardians, and also making sure the kids are getting what they need.
Yeah, no, that's important. I mean, there's so many articles about the ride home, right? The ride home after a game. And I can relate, because I coach my 2 boys in basketball as well. And I'm their coach, I'm their dad, and I know what potential that they can play at. And, there's times where I'm like, man, I better just close my mouth and just, I love you, son. I love watching you play, right? I love watching you play. Other times I'm like, I might get into some trouble right here, but I understand exactly what you're saying, especially from a father standpoint. And, there's a lot of parents where some of these parents, they've never played high school basketball or sports, and then they try to run their life through their kids and through what they're doing as well. I appreciate what you're doing. One thing I wanted to touch on is how is the It's All Connected coaching and consulting connected with the I'm Him, I'm Her workshops that you do?
So I'm Him and I'm Her are verticals within It's All Connected.
Okay.
So I'm Him stands for healthy intellectual masculinity. And that's all about, young boys, they have a tendency to have too much energy, or told they have too much energy. They have big emotions. They don't know how to control that. And that's all true. Like, this part of your brain is not fully formed when you're 14. It's not, your prefrontal cortex is still developing until you're 25. Right.
Yeah.
So with that being said, we still need to be able to do certain things. We still need to build certain skills. So how do we master ourselves, right? Self-mastery is important. Emotional regulation is critical. Emotional regulation leads to focus. So when we can coach those 2 skills, again, everything's a skill. When you can coach those 2 skills, it makes it easier to teach you, to coach you, to be around you.
Yeah.
Because you at least have awareness, and you can adapt, and you can take action. So that's I'm Him.
Got it.
I'm Her is very similar, but it's obviously it's for the female athlete. But I'm Her stands for healthy, empowered resilience. I don't know, as a man, what it's like to be a girl or woman who's an athlete. I don't. I
Yeah.
never will. And I can empathize. I can listen to you, and I sure as hell can empower you, right? So healthy, empowered resilience is really what I want you to hold me accountable to,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Because I don't have that experience, and you do have different challenges. You have different physical challenges, mental, emotional. There's different social challenges, right? For you as a female athlete versus me as a former male athlete, and even as a male coach. The healthy, empowered resilience is all about, it's the same things that you want to teach in I'm Him with the awareness, adaptability, and action oriented. But it's also like, hey, you're going to have it different. Let's not run from the fact that you're going to have challenges because you're a girl, because you're a woman. Let's figure out how to build skill sets so we can lean into it.
Got it.
Let's
Got
build
it.
skill sets so that we can have boundaries when you don't have a coach who is spending time creating pedagogies like I'm Him, I'm Her.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
have this coach who knows the sport, but might not know how to coach you. How do you
Yeah,
manage
got
that and coach that coach?
Yeah.
So those
Jordan,
are
in terms of your background, you've been sharing golden nuggets in terms of like the mindset, psychology. Do you have a psychology background? Is that your background?
Nah, so
Degree in that?
my degree from Temple, Go Owls, is in exercise science.
Okay.
I tried
Okay.
to take as many psychology courses as I could.
Yeah, I see it. I hear it for sure.
Because you can't separate the two. You can't separate the mind from the body or the body from the mind. And then I went and studied business at Wake Forest. So
Okay.
in that, there was a lot of, you're learning, one is just being in a different environment, a different situation, like going from exercise science to business is different. So you start to see how people's brains work differently. And in that program, I met one of my best friends on the planet, and Will told me, you need to like fully dive in on people. Like working with people is your gift. It's what your purpose is. And a lot of it's self-taught. A lot of it is different webinars. Like I got trained in yoga. So my yoga certification also came with breathwork facilitation and meditation.
Yeah.
So as you're doing that and learning it and teaching it to others, like it becomes deeper and deeper a part of you. And
I love
I'm
it.
glad that it comes through. I'm glad that it's coming through.
Yeah, no, one thing that I asked my son to
time.
bring in this shirt. So this is my Alamany basketball. I coach basketball, and on the back it says exactly what you said: 1% better. It's so huge. People, kids don't understand what the impact, what that really means, and what you do. But all the stuff that you've been sharing is truly valuable to the audience. Go ahead, Carter. Go ahead. What you were going to say?
It does come through, Jordan, in a big way. It's inspiring. Can you speak to us a little bit about bringing that into the Cougar Nation and where that plays out, where you are on a daily basis? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Right. Mm-hmm. So the first thing you have to have is at least a seed's worth of hope, right? Because once you lose hope, you've lost everything. You have to have, it doesn't have to be a lot, but it's got to be something. Because
I'm putting
that
my
hope
head
is
down because I'm writing notes as you say this.
Oh,
by
go
the
for
way.
it. You're gonna like this one.
I'm trying to capture this stuff. It's really
You know what? It's funny, Carter. I'm like, man, I got to take notes on this, but again, we're recording this, so
I know.
we got this for the reference.
I'm trying not to be rude as I keep on writing on my notepad. I'm like, man,
No,
I got
good. I'm the same way. I always have my pen and paper right here in arm's reach. So hope is that first part. Hope is that seed that can spark belief, and belief turns into ideas. Ideas are the thing that's in here, that what you're telling yourself, what you think about yourself and the world around you. And that's the last step that's only in here. Hope, belief, and ideas are all in here. The action is the first thing. That other people can maybe know your ideas, especially if they get close to you or they spend time with you, they get more familiar. They can have an understanding of your ideas, but like your action is what other people really see and feel. And once you get that action, you do it one time, that's great. Like you going to the gym one time, you believing and hoping and having the thought of going to the gym one time, great for that day. If you want that to be consistent, you have to be consistent with that action until it gets to the point that it's a habit, because habits are who you are. Again, we all are disciplined because we're habitual by nature.
Yeah.
But what's the habit that you've created for yourself? Is the habit
habits of success? What are your habits of success?
Exactly. Is your habit going to bed at a reasonable time so you can go to bed at 10 and wake up at 6 and be ready for practice at 8, well fed, well hydrated, and not just crawling out of bed? Or are you that athlete who's going to bed? I have athletes that go to sleep at 4 a.m. That's not great, right? And I know it's hard to get a 14, 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old kid to go to bed in the summer, but like you have to do it, because eventually you'll spend 90 days not sleeping, and then you have a problem going to sleep for school.
Let me go get my teenage girls real quick, Jordan.
So the girls do it too. The girls are up all hours of the night.
Man, I'll wake up for some reason and just go check on the house. It's 2:30 or 3, and then they're in their doom scrolling in their room.
I'm so happy that I didn't grow up in the social media era where it's right there on your phone. Like, we had to open up the computer and like wait for the dial up when we first started using the internet. And like, I'm so appreciative of that, because these things they're different. They have so much potential. They have so much power, but it's all about how you use it. So that's another thing that I'm working on with It's All Connected is the digital literacy curriculum. Like, how do you actually have, because there's no getting around having technology, but how do you have good tech hygiene is what I'm calling it, right? Like, how do you set boundaries? How do you make sure you're dictating to your algorithm and not having your algorithm dictate to you? Because that can get crazy really fast. That algorithm it's designed to be smart. It's designed to keep you on whatever app you're on. There's a reason, no matter what app you download, they ask you, can we track your location?
Yeah.
And can we send you notifications? Right? Because that notification is like that little dopamine hit. Dopamine. Like, that feels good. That feels good. That feels good. And eventually you want it more and more and more. And it can take over. It can disrupt your sleep. I've seen it disrupt kids eating. Like, it can do a lot. So that's something I think we need to figure out collectively moving into the future.
I'm wanting, maybe backtracking just a little bit. Are your folks still around, your mom and dad?
Yeah. Mom and dad are still both around and active and kicking and retired and loving retirement life. It's great.
They got to be excited about where you are right now in relation, just from both the lessons that you shared, you learned from them, particularly being, coached by your father.
Yeah.
Can you offer for us, because I really am, I'm particularly inspired by what you're saying. And I think Randy and I always laugh off screen about how we punch above our weight with these shows, getting to talk with folks like you and other folks in your life, mentors. Can you speak to that for a minute? Just because I'm trying to gain, you're very thoughtful related to your folks and the impact they had on your life. Can you mention some other folks in your life that had the impact such that where you are now?
100%. Yeah. Both my grandmothers, man, like they're where it's all starts. Like, my mom's mom moved from a small town in South Carolina that her brother's now the mayor of. She's very habitual. She said the same prayer request every Sunday when we went to church. It was to pray for her family, her children that live at home, the ones that don't live at home. Like, it was, and for her, like, leading with kindness. Kindness is power. Like, she's a small little old lady, but she's kind, but you cross her. not the best thing to do. And then my dad's mom, she's in Florida. She's in a home now. But when she was younger, man, she was a spitfire. Like, she lived in the neighborhood that I live in now. Like, she got it popping. Like, she was an entrepreneur. She knew how to get community together. She knew how to raise money for community. She knew how to put money in her pocket and her family's pockets. And I wish before she started to go mentally that I had more time with her to ask her questions and know her before I knew her. So yeah, those are two very, very critical ones. I think I was always blessed to have good coaches, especially on the field coaches, that gave me the pieces I needed to be able to explore more. Some of those coaches are still coaching. So like, I still get to go to events and see them. I still get to go like to our annual golf outing for the high school team I played for. I get to go see my coaches. And now that I'm coaching, it's really I think the most magical thing right now is being able to be the age that I am where I can still run around and get after it with the kids and like, for the most part, handle them. But also be wise enough to know how fleeting these moments are. We have 99 days from today when we're recording until our last regular season game.
Wow.
So when you think about it like that, that gets into their head that, oh, time matters. This 1% today, this matters. I have to do this now because in 98 days, I'm playing my last high school football game, my last regular high school football game. And if we don't do well in those first 10 or those first 9, we might not get an 11th.
Yeah,
right.
That's right.
If we're not setting up now for later, it's not great. And that's something I've learned along the way from a multitude of coaches. I don't think I could put that just on one person. There's teachers that are in that. There's coaches that I've coached with that are in that. There's so many people to thank for getting to this point. But, you know, I think a lot of it is just being able to take time and reflect. Writing things down has always been a thing that I've done. Like I was a 10-year-old writing a to-do list on a daily basis.
Writing your goals down too, right?
Yeah, writing it down is it changes everything. And I really bought into that. Like I have a stack of 100-page notebooks. I think I did 16 100-page notebooks last year. It's 1,600 pages of content, 1,600 pages of thoughts going from here to pen and paper, or starting from here sometimes, right? Starting right from the heart.
Yeah. No, I like to share that with the audience members in terms of writing down goals, the importance of writing it down. If you write down a goal and you look at it in the morning and you look at it at night, trust me, you're going to hit that goal, right? 100%. Writing it down. That's so important for all the listeners out there.
In relation to the phrase time matters, it's clear that you are very intentional about how you use your time. Something we talk a lot about on the show is, you know, it's called the We Are All Awesome show. And one of the things that we're focused on is helping kids discover what they can do with the awesomeness they have, right? And I'm curious for you, when you hear that, what does awesomeness mean? What is that? How does that translate?
I think it translates most directly to authenticity, right? Because no one is you. No one is Carter. No one is Randy. And I know no one else is Jordan, right? And that's big and that's small all at the same time. And I think that's what makes it awesome, because it's the smallest things that make you who you are that can have the biggest impact. You never know what you're going to say and how it's going to reflect on someone and how it's going to last. Or like, especially with coaching, like there's some kids that are just difficult to coach when they're with you. But the most rewarding thing is seeing that kid come back, driving down the street, park the car, hop out and say, "Coach, thank you." Like that happened 2 weeks ago with a player I coached who is home from college, driving his own car, has his own apartment, and jumped out the car, and like his fiance, like I'm old enough that the kids have fiancés now, is sitting in the passenger seat. Like that's what's awesome. Like being able to see someone's growth and someone's change and someone's development. Other things that are awesome is the authenticity, like being you and letting your light shine. Like every person has uniqueness about them, but the hardest thing sometimes, especially when you're a young kid, is being comfortable enough and confident enough and have the space and the place to let that light shine. And if you can do that, especially if you can do it early, if you can do it at a young age, man, you got a lot of time. You got a lot of time to make that light brighter.
Golly, yeah. Yeah, I'm smiling big because you're talking our language. Thank you for that. I wrote down it's the smallest things that make you who you are that make an impact. Did I capture that correctly? Is that what you said?
You got, I think so. Sometimes I just get to talking. I don't even know what I'm saying.
I just
we'll listen back and we'll confirm.
Yeah, I love it. I love that phrase. Also, small hinges swing big doors.
Yeah.
Right. That's another impactful phrase as well. Jordan, I know we're a little bit past time. Do you got another maybe 5 minutes or so just to wrap up a few more questions? Is that cool?
I got 5.
Okay, cool. Carter, do you have any other questions for Jordan before I ask him what would you ask for a 10-year-old student, or any other questions we want to? Actually, I do have one more which you didn't cover, is tell us a little bit about flag football and girls flag football, because I have a niece and she's a juker. She just went into high school this past year. She grew up with my older two boys, and she has two older brothers. So,
Yeah.
she can ball, right?
Yeah,
And they
that's
started
unlike,
flag football out here in California. Tell us more about that.
man, I wish there was flag football when my sister was in high school, because she would go out and she'd get in the street with us and I would pick her first. Like, it could be the whole neighborhood, and I'm picking my sister and I'm picking my neighbor Megan, and we will stay on the field all day, right? Because like girls have always, one, they develop faster. So when you're in high school, like, the girls are usually more developed, especially middle school. Middle school girls are usually much better athletes than their counterparts. But flag football is just, it's blown up, right? Like, once we found out it's going to be an Olympic sport, it's in, I think, a sanctioned sport at the high school level in 30 of 50 states, and the other 20 are testing it out. So when you talk about exponential growth, the last sport I saw grow this fast was lacrosse. Lacrosse is an expensive sport. Flag football is not. Flag football, you need shorts, a shirt, some cleats, and flags. And you don't have to keep replacing your flags. You buy those flags one time and you're good. So, you can get in and out for flag football for an affordable price. And I think that's another thing that's beautiful about it. It's a sport where you can cross ages, you can cross genders, you can have, really, like, we've had practices before where we had 10-year-olds playing with 16-year-olds. You can't do that with tackle football. You can't do that with basketball. You can't do that with hockey, lacrosse. There's a whole lot of sports you can't do that with.
That's a good point.
You can set this up this way so that it really is a thing that everyone can participate in. And another thing is, since it's new, there's so many more opportunities. So in addition to the girls playing flag football, we've actually started building our own ecosystem where we have high school athletes getting trained by NFL officials to officiate the games. So in Pennsylvania, we have the PIAA, Pennsylvania Interscholastic Athletic Association. The PIAA has a lot of older officials and not enough officials for this new sport of flag football. So we found that gap, and we've actually been training our high school athletes to be those flag football officials. And it's great because, especially, we have girls that officiate the games. So when the girls show up to play and they're like, oh my God, like, I can ref games. I never even thought of that. And it's such a light bulb moment sometimes when you realize you can do something because that thing already exists. Like, me working for the Sixers, I went to undergrad, I went to a master's program, I worked for a year before I even knew that the job that I then did for 6 years existed.
Okay.
So the exposure right now with flag football being a new vehicle to expose people to other opportunities, I'm so excited about it. I'm so excited. I love coaching flag.
Is that with the Philadelphia Eagles? What is that program? Who's it connected with?
Yeah, so the program will end with a showcase with the Eagles this year. The Eagles have been very, very, very kind to flag football. They do a weekly spotlight for flag football coaches on LinkedIn. I have to give a shout out to my man, Brendan Clark, community relations for the Eagles. They've been super tapped in with football and flag football. It feels like I see someone from the Eagles, either an alumni, someone who works in the business operations, or, Jordan Davis came to one of our events 2 weeks ago. So the Eagles, they're an organization who is really tapped into the community in like a real, genuine, organic way. And the fact that they're also Super Bowl champions makes me even proud. Like, it's just an extra Lombardi on the whole pile of being a real football NFL team that really cares about their community.
Jordan, I know Randy's going to close with a question that we ask our guests, but I just want to go back to something when Randy asked you the number of students that you've had an impact on. And I want to remind you that the students that you've worked with directly, you've had an impact on, but what they've gone to do because of the lessons and because of what you've instilled to them, there's the compounding effect. And so we're grateful at WiddyUP for what you've done and what you're doing now. So it really is a privilege to steal 45 minutes of your time and have the opportunity to have a conversation with you. I leave inspired, and I've got now 2 pages of notes and quotes from you. Even though this is being recorded, I can go back. I just have to write it down. I'm just really thankful to have spent an hour out of my day with you. It feels like time best spent. So thank you very much on behalf of both the We Are All Awesome show and also WiddyUP, because we're just absolutely perfectly aligned on things. So thank you.
Thank you, Carter. You're about to make me blush.
Yeah,
Brand-
so our last question that we always like to ask our guests, Jordan, is if you could give one piece of advice to your 10-year-old self or anyone here listening or watching right now, what would that advice be?
10 is what, fifth grade?
10, fifth
Yeah.
grade, fifth grade. Yeah, 10, fifth grade, 10 you,
All
fifth,
right, let
fifth
me
grade.
let me think about fifth grade, Jordan. Fifth grade was a good year. Fifth grade. Oh no, fifth grade was the first year I lost football. So
Okay, okay.
I have a fracture in my spine
Okay.
to this day. I was either born with it, got it when I was young, but it started causing serious back pain. So
Oh, I thought you just stepped away from football.
no.
Yeah,
This is
actual
like an
fracture.
actual injury,
Oh, wow.
condition
Okay.
that took me out of the sport for fifth, sixth. No, I played fifth grade. The end of fifth grade, I stopped playing. Sixth, seventh, and eighth grade. All
Okay.
my friends were from sports, mostly from football. Like we would still play pickup football out in the park, out in people's yards, in the street, whatever. And I still had it, but I couldn't put on the uniform because there was a risk that my spine would slip forward if it was
Wow,
compressed.
okay.
So, fifth grade me had a great season for a fifth grader, right? And then got news at Hershey Medical Center that I was not going to be able to play for the foreseeable future. So I would tell that fifth grade, 10-year-old version of myself to just keep going, keep finding things that you love, and don't let one door closing keep you from chasing your awesomeness. And I did that. Like I lost football, but I gained band, got heavy on the saxophone.
Okay. Okay.
Got into chorus. I can't sing a lick, but I found my way into the chorus. I was in the drama club. I was on the debate team.
Now I see it all coming together.
Right.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
exactly. It's understanding that, oh, this is not an opportunity for me. And the doctor left just a seed of hope. The
Okay.
doctor said, you can't play football right now. You can't play football until your body can handle the contact. You can't play football until your core muscles are strong enough to support that fractured spine. So what did I do? I went home, started doing sit-ups, started doing planks, start wall sits, anything I could do to get myself stronger.
I see.
And that's really when it really clicked that, if you do these things and you do them consistency, to me, being able to play football was like making magic happen again.
Okay.
So I would say find your magic.
No, I appreciate you sharing that. And Jordan, your stories, everything you shared has been so inspirational, just like Carter said. And I just want to say, wow, in terms of your energy, absolutely contagious. From being a defensive coordinator to strength coach, football coach, leading the transformative I'm him, I'm her workshops, to with your own business, right? It's all connected, coaching and consulting. You've shown parents, you've shown students, you've shown educators how to teach the body, train the mind, and build unshakable mental mindset, unshakable confidence, right? Unbelievable. In terms of your motto with Cougar Nation, on a mission, you talked about the value of sports, how it's made an impact on you. I read an article a couple weeks ago. It said, if you want to have your kid or if you want to set your kid up for success, is it sports? It's not. It's actually the performing arts. Teach them an instrument, teach them how to play music, right? But you also talked about the value of sports in terms of being on time, putting in the work, the discipline that you gain there, impact of sports in your life and everyone else's that's listening in this podcast. Compete in everything you do, right? Do everything with a purpose. You've impacted hundreds, thousands of kids. And Jordan, you're just a perfect example of what happens when you lean into your purpose, right? And you just don't talk about transformation. It's you're actually living it, right? On the field, in the hearts of the youth that you mentor. It's unbelievable. You talked about the win now mentality. When I hear that, I'm like, let's go, right? Teach your mind, train your body. Carter's taking notes. I'm like, I don't have to take notes because I'm recording this. I'm going to watch this recording right after. But the one thing that stuck in my mind is being you and letting your light shine, right? That kind of gives me goosebumps again in terms of what we want to inspire and have all the kids be awesome. So again, Jordan, thank you so much for being on this incredible show and sharing your energy. And again, for reminding us that awesome is a mindset and an action, and based on what you shared. So to all of our listeners out there, all the WiddyUP family, hit the like button, the subscribe button. And if Jordan's story inspired you, please post a comment, leave a comment, and also let us know what part of Jordan's journey resonated with you the most. Share that on social media. Click that like button, share this episode with a friend who needs that extra spark of motivation. So again, thanks for tuning in to the We Are All Awesome show powered by WiddyUP, where every story, every episode really shows us that awesome lives inside of all of us, and we just need to find it. So on behalf of Carter and myself, WiddyUP.
WiddyUP.
WiddyUp.